Hey, what's up there, Jamie? Yeah, actually, I do have. Let me switch screens here. I've got quite a bit of documentation that is available. Hey, what's up, gamer man? So yeah, after it's all said and done, I'll probably make that available if you want it. That's not a big deal. Um, let's see here. Where was I? Oh, okay. Other moves that weren't in the game, like say Baraka's sword spin, could do that. There's probably some more stuff I can do. I want to think about possibly giving Shao Kahn some more moves, some moves that are in the game, graphics-wise. You got the overhead stomp, you got supposed fatality for him as well. So there's a lot of stuff I can do as far as the moves are. So you can definitely make new moves for the Sea characters. And I was kind of debating on changing a little bit of Noob Saibot, because as you all know, in the next game, Noob Saibot ends up being the original Sub-Zero. So it didn't make much sense to me on this game for Noob Saibot having the teleport move when he should probably have something like a slide, even though neither one of those moves are used in the original MK2. But it would be nice to give him the slide, I think, to kind of go with his character. And that debate's kind of across the board for some of the other moves, like Jade's teleport punch, or Smoke's teleport as well, which is one of those moves that are universal. You can add the teleport to any character you want. You can do the same thing with the dash throw, but let's see. So let's get on with the show here. Can you guys hear me fine on the mic? Jade's shadow kick. Yeah, you could theoretically do Jade's shadow kick. Just take the low kick frame and add the shadow move to it, which I've already added that to Hornbuckle and yeah, just Hornbuckle. Hornbuckle's got a couple shadow moves. His bicycle kick, his flying kick. Also, it's added to the super uppercuts. Alright, so as with all my my non-public builds, I try to put this debug stuff back in it just to help testing, but like random fight ladder. Alright. Yeah, Gamerman, I don't know what to tell you about the broken stuff on MAME. I currently use 0.184, and I've used as far back as I think 1.56, and everything's worked. But I've submitted a couple bugs to the MAME team for this emulator, and they've fixed one of them, but they didn't seem too concerned about the other one, so I'm not sure. I'm sure the development has gotten better with the newer versions of MAME for it, so I would probably stick to something newer. Alright, so here's a coin up screen. So right now, if you were to put your credits in and press start, you would see a new menu, and this is an idea. I'm not sure if it's going to ever come to life or not, but I was thinking I want to do a lot of things with the endurance stuff that I've written, kind of get as much use out of it as possible. So a couple of ideas: 2v2 combat. I actually did a little bit in the mega endurance, classics normal, but mega's simply just going to give you one match, and you're going to fight all the characters, like 15 characters, all the 12 original characters and the 3 secret characters. Showcase, as elaborate on the showcase idea, Howard. I mean like a fatality showcase, or so yeah, the mega endurance is going to be just a one fight 15 people endurance match, and I've kind of had to iron out a couple wrinkles because I did have some crashing after I got 5 to 6 characters through the game, and it didn't matter if their old characters were laying on the floor or not. It still would crash. So I actually had to relocate the location to store the RAM or the sprites for the in RAM. So that seemed to fix that problem. And this mountain screen top, obviously this is going to change. I'm not going to have this mountaintop screen here for a mega endurance. It just doesn't make sense because I'm not looking to have a complete ladder after the 15 fight endurance. So the first thing you'll notice is the mega endurance title, and we're going to go in here into RAM and kind of change the computer's health. I probably should put some kind of debug in here for computer health down to like 1%. For the time being, we're just going to lower it like this. Yeah, I see Noob's not playing nice with me. So basically, this is going to go on for 15 characters, and it's it's probably really hard for everybody unless you're pretty good at exploiting the computer, which there are still some exploits out there you can take advantage of. I try to eliminate the biggest ones, and I have also addressed the player 2 AI exploit. When you're playing as player 2, you can easily exploit the CPU. I have fixed that. I should probably show that here next. Showing off modes of fatalities. Okay. Yeah, let's give me some more life here because this guy's going to kill me. And that's another thing. I did address I don't know how many people caught that, but on the endurance for matches with the secret characters, they were missing their entrance names. So that's been addressed as well. So that's pretty much the mega endurance. It's going to go through this. I don't know what, there's got to be something. It's got to be something given after you beat this, because I'm sure it's going to be a tough thing to do, and Sub-Zero is actually not supposed to be here. The way the ladder is laid out is it's random opponents, but there shouldn't be any repeats. And you see my character table here. Looks like it's Sub-Zero, Jade, Sub-Zero, Shang Tsung, Kung Lao, Liu Kang, Jade. To address that in the routine, but that's pretty much it for the mega endurance idea. Like I said, I don't know if it's ever going to come to public. I spent quite a deal on this game, and I'd like to finish it at some point, but it seems like I can never walk away. It's like everything else. I want to add something else. I got this idea and I want to do it. And kind of hard to stop working on it, but as long as everything goes good and it doesn't hinder my personal life, I don't have a problem with adding more to it, because in the end it seems like if done well, it's definitely worth it. What's up there, Axel? Howard, about Hornbuckle, I'm not sure about Hornbuckle ever being playable. I kind of like the idea of the mystery, so even if he is playable or ever will be playable, that's something I probably won't disclose. I'd like to keep that as one of those secrets that MK is good for. Alright, so you get the gist of the mega endurance idea. Alright, and for those that don't know about the player 2, let's check my difficulty. Sure, it's on hard. Okay. Alright, so there's, in the original Mortal Kombat 2, there's a pretty bad computer AI exploit you can do. It basically involves you just jumping at them from the right distance when they're down on the ground, and they'll just continuously go backwards. I don't have a whole lot of experience with doing it, so it might take me a second to get it, but I'll show you what it originally was like before I fixed it, and I'll show you what the new new way is. Luke King ain't playing it. Hey, what's up there, Caesar? No, Eddie. No Blaze. No Blaze. I don't know where I'd get graphics for Blaze from, but... So basically, I'm trying to show off this this CPU exploit for player 2. If you're playing this player 2 against player 1 computer, you can get them to do a pattern that you can just take full advantage of, but problem is I'm failing here at getting them on the ground. Oh yeah, there's another exploit. We can also do that one to get them on the ground. Oh, here we go. This might make my life a little easier here. Do I by chance have my AI on? AI fix on? Let's see here, because nope, it's off. I'm just doing a terrible job, I guess, at getting this to work. And this is something I never even knew about. But then again, not most people play as player 2 when they're playing against a computer, so this glitch here was Parallax told me about this. I want to say there was a YouTuber out there that was playing some of the MK2 Plus and he played player 2 a lot and took advantage of this. There it is. There's the glitch. As long as you stay within a certain range, he'll continue to walk backwards, and he'll actually stay in this position until I move out of range. The problem is, let me pull up the document here. I'll show you a little bit, some technical insight here. And it's not updating as fast, so it's thinking I'm not actually jumping in the air when I am, and for some reason it doesn't affect player 1, it only affects player 2. So what it's doing, it's setting a wrong flag, and instead of the computer walking forward, he's walking backwards, and I can easily exploit him by walking backwards, getting out of the range. Because the computer's just continuously trying to walk backwards to get a large enough range between me and him before he does a projectile. So if I were to walk backwards and then wait a second, he'll throw his projectile. It's only if you jump from a certain range, because I found it to work best when the other character's on the ground and I'm jumping towards them. It might work, yeah, I guess it works regardless if he's on the ground or not. But so after you get used to doing it, you can take pretty good advantage of it. Alright, so the fix for that, as with everything of any kind of fixes like that change the gameplay, I try to put everything in an option, so people that don't like the changes, you know, they can just play pretty much close to stock MK2 3.1. So the change for that was put in the option for improved computer AI. Which is going to make it even tougher to actually try to exploit it. See if we can find the range here. That is one of Liu Kang's counter attacks for aerial defense. Is his flying kick. I felt it was necessary to give more options, because a lot of people, they'll exploit the fireball that he throws in the air, but just by getting a close jump kick. I can sit there all day and play and try to show you, but the AI is almost it's almost too good without an exploit. So I think it's kind of fun to make it as hard as possible, especially with the option to turn it off. What's up there, Mame? Axel, yeah, I can put any kind of finishing touch on Liu Kang's cartwheel, explosion, decapitation, stage fatality, all that. Eddie, I've heard of some online play stuff for, I think it's MAME Hub. I haven't looked into it, but I'm assuming it uses just factory vision games. I don't know if any hack is compatible. If it is, then this could probably be played online as well. Alright, so let's show off something else in this build. First we'll turn off improve CPU, because they're not very much fun, especially on hard. And there is an ultimate setting, which is a little harder. It kind of, we all know the CPU and how they can throw from certain ranges and stuff. They're kind of, they override when you're playing against them. This kind of increases those values, so it makes it even tougher. That's it. Don't have Jade unlocked yet since it reset my settings, so I'm gonna cheat here, put Jade in there. Oh, you know what? For this new setting, it definitely has to have improved CPU AI on. Basically, if you're Jade, the computer is a little wiser. It's not going to do any projectiles because they're useless against Jade. Oh, that's not really working expectedly. Alright, so let's pull something up here. Let's go. Let's see what's going on. Let's do a little... see why this is not working as expected. Okay, yeah, I didn't think I did it for CPU AI on only, so that definitely doesn't matter. So let's go in there and turn that back off. And we'll set a breakpoint here and see what's going on here. Maybe I got an error here in my codelet. Alright, so right here, Reptile's trying to get up and do a projectile here. H10. Oh, okay. There's the error right there. 07, okay. Alright, let's get that again. Let's see. So 810, I presumably thought it was going to be the table ID for the character that I'm playing as, which is 103.6330. So it's on one player. 106.0220. It's 103.6330, which is right. And then my character ID is going to be 10. Okay, so as you can see, he didn't do a projectile there. The problem is my basis here for register A10 is not always going to be the structure for the player I'm playing as. You can see it is here, 103.6330, and you can see here this is where player 1's structure is located. It's 103.6330, so this should work on this breakpoint as well. He should not throw a projectile. And then it's also breaking again for some reason, but it's still the same, but no projectile. So we got to find out what's all running through that. If we have to, we can manually pull my character's structure in there every time. Okay, so right now he would probably throw some spit. Okay, so here's a case where it's not going to work, as A10 is not a valid pointer for our structure for Jade. It should say 103.6330. It says 40, so 40 is not a good address. So we're just going to modify this on the fly here and edit the ROM and relaunch it here. So now we got to come up with a way to, let's see, A13. Let's look at player 1's control ID, 106. Let's see, 106 BF30. Is that A13? No, it's not. Probably changes upon projectile. Oh, let's see here. Sorry, I catch up on the chat here. Oh, master, yeah. You talking about like kicking off the heads with the feet with the reverse cartwheel? That'd be kind of cool. Addy for Noob Saibot, no, there's no audio in the game that says Noob Saibot, and even if I had the capability to add new audio to it, I don't think I want to do anything outside of just changing the 2 revision ROMs for this mod. And also, Feel the Power of Toasty is the actual announcement in the game. Bad Mind, you gotta, since it's not a recognized clone of the game, MAME will always give you errors with the ROMs because the checksums are different. You can run it in debug mode, which I can probably show you real fast if you're watching here. So basically, all you're going to do is go to your MAME, drag it to your desktop, create shortcut there. Yeah, where'd it go? Where'd it go? There it is. Okay. After you make your shortcut, just click on Properties. There it is. That took all day. And you want to go in here to Target and type in dash debug space and then the ROM name, which would be MK2, and that will allow you to launch it in debug, so you don't have to worry about the errors. Yeah, Michael's right. You can use different versions of MAME, and there's probably other MAME emulators that you can change the settings on also. So that's an easy way. If you want to launch any game in debug in MAME, you would just type -debug and then the ROM name, and then it would launch it. It'll still give you the errors, but it'll allow you to play it. Alright, so back to what we were doing. It seems here our register A10 is not always going to be the value of our player structure, so we can't base that the whole execution of this this setting here on that register, because it's going to be different. For now it says 40, and I'd like to know what that is. I don't know if it even bothers anything because I'm not preserving any registers here and I'm completely overwriting it. So if that's the case, we can definitely just pull in, we can manually load in our player structure and alright, so gotta find a power cord for my headset, so give me a second. So let me know if you get that to work for you. It won't be like that in the final version because obviously I'll have something submitted to the MAME team, but at the same time I'm not going to blow up, the MAME team every, beta I get, because I'm sure they're definitely not going to like that. So that's another thing about these ideas that I get. Also, I want to add more stuff, but that kind of prolongs finalizing it and getting that taken care of so people can actually play it easily. But my whole target is the machine anyways. So MAME is good simply just for testing ideas. There are some differences. So anybody that plays this on MAME and arcade, they'll tell you there are some differences between the two platforms. So it's a good tool to test with, but in the end, my main goal is machine compatibility. Alright, so let's see here. We got... So we know when register A8, is Drew in here? Drew, you in the chat? I know you wanted to see a few things. I'm going to show you something. So we see our A8s. That's almost always going to hold our structure for one of the two characters, and in this case with the projectile it's always going to have the attacker. So this is going to be reptiles structure location, and you can see 103.6540, that's reptiles there, so it does match. So there's really no short way of doing this. We can, let's just mark that all old, but we'll go in there and we can do it like this. We can do it a couple ways. We can move the value at 88, and there's an offset in that structure that tells us if it's player 1 or player 2. And that is at 1 CO. So this is going to show us of that structure for the character in A8 if it's player 1 or player 2. And we're going to compare it to 1 as in player 1. If it's not player 1, we're going to jump to player 2. If it is player 1, we want to load player 2's character ID, and we can probably still go AO, okay. And we'll need another jump here. We'll say get ID. So basically it's going to load player 1 and player 2. So what this is going to do is going to pull that structure from A8. It's going to see if it's player 1 or player 2, and then load in their their corresponding location for their structure. And it's going to put that in A. And then once we get that, we have to pull the offset for the character ID to check if we're Jade. So to do that, we're going to and the end result, it should give us our character ID there. The only thing I'm unsure of is when when A10 is not the ID of the character that is being attacked. What's that value for? I guess we'll find out. But we can easily, what we're going to do to rectify that is we can preserve any registers we use, which in this case looks like we're going to use, yeah, looks like we're going to use AO, so we'll save that in the stack pointer location. And then we don't need this portion of it. We will have to change this to A0 since our ID will be in A0. And there's two different paths here. If it is Jade, or if it is, if it is Jade and there's projectile, it's going to jump and get another routine or another move. If it's not Jade, it should do a projectile. So we always have to recall our registers, that way everything works out. And we're only using one, which is good. Alright, so if everything's good, this should fix that problem we had. We'll find out here. It makes it a little easier to see when it's actually in the game. For me it is anyways. So what we'll do is we'll go Alright, so this thing for Jade, it doesn't matter if CPU AI is on or off. I didn't think that'd make a big difference just because of the fact that you're playing as Jade. It's not really relevant to how it would have normally been in the arcades since you never could play as Jade. So alright, let me catch up here on the chat here. Thanks, Keith, by the way. I saw you just got your note there. Master, the red dragon fatality. It could be done. It's, you know, it wouldn't be hard. It's as simple as you know, just pulling another pallet for Liu Kang and maybe doing, you know, some kind of trick to, if you hold a button it'll be red, or you can do just a random 50-50 deal. Okay, well, again. Alright, since I haven't played through this version since building the new version, we're going to go in here and change this manually to our Jade. And then what I'll do is I'll put a break on here. That way we can go through our routine step by step. Oh, he didn't get a break. Oh, you know what? I just realized there might be another routine for aerial projectiles, since I didn't break on that. But that's strange. Let's see why. Let's try. That is the main routine. Here we go. Oh, we got a break here. Oh, I see. We're going to have a crash here because I accidentally copied over the jump. That's the problem. Yep, just one of those things. I've done that a million times. I copied too much of it, so we'll go. Yeah, imagine doing this almost every day for the past year and a half for this project. It's kind of tedious, but you know, if you like it that much, I guess it's not as bad. So let's see. You know, I'm surprised we didn't get a crash earlier in the game because of that problem, but there's your typical AI exploit that is also fixed in improved computer AI option. You can just jump back from them when they're close range, and they'll follow you. All right, so here he's wanting to throw a projectile. So let's see if everything goes as planned. We should have. Let's go 1060 DFO. We'll check our player structure ID, and it's 1036540. And oh, I'm sorry, wrong guy. I was looking at it like, wait a minute. 1036330 is our player structure. So what we'll do, we'll get the player 1 or player 2 and A0, so it's player 2. Okay, yeah, that's all we needed right there. So we got one too many steps here. We can just go in here and take out the that line. We don't need that line. Update that, and if we go here, we can temporarily take out that line. That way we don't have to rebuild it. I know right now it's going to give an invalid value with that extra line in there, so we can go in here and modify it on the run here. We can do. Alright, so we should get a couple knobs there. Alright, so we're good. So our player ID is an A0, which is 10, which is Jade. Jump if not equal. And everything looks good. He should have thrown a projectile there. You should throw one there. Looks like there's no projectiles anymore if you're playing as Jade. Yeah, Howard, I think I covered that on the intro of the video, but I'll try to go over it again. No, Master, Jax has no airwave. I don't know if that was anything actually in the game, or if that's just something they added with Trilogy, but it looked to me like they kind of pasted two sprites together, like maybe his jump kick one and his upper torso for the airwave. What's GB? Is that Game Boy? I'll have to research Jax's Game Boy fatality, because I can tell you I've never played Mortal Kombat for Game Boy. Alright, so let's do... Yeah, I've heard that too, Master, about the cut moves. Did they by chance ever do the air freeze for Sub-Zero? I don't think I've ever seen them do that, though, for Trilogy. Oh, I see. So it's kind of like the grab and pound move, but his opponent explodes. So I'll have to check that out. Anything's possible. I mean, as long as you know, the times when we put towards something, if it's worth it, you know, I definitely give it consideration. As I did a lot of stuff on the game that has been quite a bit of work, especially the endurance stuff. I thought this game was super incomplete without it. That's one of the things I wanted to do from the get-go, and it seemed to turn out pretty good. And it's kind of progressing into new stuff like this mega endurance, and possibly, I don't know, who knows, maybe we'll do like a ninja endurance or something. That was kind of a trilogy deal. But I kind of want to come up with this new stuff that we're putting in here. I kind of want to give some incentive to doing it. Like, you know, what if you were to beat the mega endurance? What would you get from it? you know, stuff like that. So it's kind of pushing me further to do some more stuff. So who knows? Maybe you might get something if you beat the Mega Endurance. Maybe not. If you guys got any ideas, you can definitely let me know, because as you can see, I like to do this stuff for some reason. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we got another bug here that we're going to look into. It just surfaced after doing the new endurance routines that I modified for the Mega Endurance stuff. And basically it just deals with smoke. It won't stop when the old smoke is destroyed, and it won't begin when the new smoke is entered into the endurance when he flips in. Alright, so what we're going to do here is we're going to go to, I've already got this set up as, let's go in here and do, I've already got this set up for if you were to do the Mega Endurance, it'll take you straight to it. This is real early. There's going to be a different screen, I think, when you go to the Super or Mega Endurance. Right now it just shows the mountaintop. That's definitely not the way it's going to be. So just need some ideas on that. Let's see. So this here is our table of the opponents we're going to be facing, and we're going to insert smoke here a couple times just to show the entrances, like the smoke bug that we're chasing here. So we'll save this here because I'm sure we're going to be reloading this. There's Smoke. He's coming up next after Johnny Cage. Let's go in here and modify Johnny's health. Make Johnny into a weakling here. Let's see. Airmac. I don't know. I think that's a fine line adding Airmac. I mean, it's easily done, but I mean, I just don't want to water the game down. I want to keep it like, just, I don't know. There's a fine line there with adding all these characters like Blaze and Airmac and all that. And there's actually quite a bit of stuff to do when you introduce a new character. You got to hook into multiple routines, relocate some arrays for the characters. So there's a lot to it. Hornbuckle was definitely wasn't easy to add him, but it took a little bit of time. Yeah, I think if it on that for Master for Shang Tsung turn into Kintaro or Shao Kahn, I think, you know, I think Shao Kahn's probably gonna get a fatality. And who knows, maybe I might make Shang Tsung able to morph into him and do the same fatality. Kind of like reverse of what I did for Kintaro. Yeah, I've seen some of his sprites on the unused fatality. It's kind of weird how it, I mean, I wish I knew what they were thinking when they made the sprites. It would make it a little easier, but it does. It seems like the fist frame is incomplete. Alright, so let's go back to what we're doing here. Open another window for my health, just in case things get crazy. Oh, that's right. I forgot I had immortality on. So it's going to crash if that's going to be left on, so we got to turn that off. So we'll turn that off. The reason why that crashes if you have that on is because when Smoke enters, it's trying to refill his life which isn't possible because of the immortality debug feature being on. So let's try this again. Let's pause this because we gotta make some changes to our table here. Gonna put smoke into our lineup. Alright. Where were we? As you can see, smoke never came in with this smoke, so that's what we're going to fix here. Airmat could be smoke, reptile, and scorpions. Sub-zero, not smoke. Cool, man. That's good. I'm glad I inspired you to do Street Fighter 2 hack. That's cool. Red female. Yeah, what was the red females? Yeah, there you go. Scarlet. Scarlet was the name. That's what's cool about this game. You know, it was so many rumors back in the day. It was ridiculous. Everything from that to maybe one of the monks being a hidden character. Kind of got out of control. But I'll try to keep that kind of mysterious nostalgia there. So who knows? Maybe there is Scarlet. Maybe you can play as the monks. I guess you have to beat the Mega Endurance to find out. No, Howard. The friendships are all associated to their clone characters, like Katana. Reptile, you know, Scorpion, you know, buy a Reptile Dow, buy a Scorpion Dow. Alright, so let's see, I'm going to take in a wild ride here. We're going to go through the endurance routines here, and let's see if I can show you here. The way I got this working is there's a simple flag that pretty much changed the timing of his smoke puffs. It was instated earlier, way back over a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago when I first started, because whenever you would do an explosion fatality on smoke with Katana or anything else that involved the body explosion, you would get a crash because of all the smoke and the body parts. So I had to put something in there to almost stop the smoke. I wouldn't say completely stop it. What it does is just lengthens the amount of time before the next smoke puff comes out. Keebler elves in the forest, yeah, that'd be funny. There you go, his smoke stopped, and across the screen it says no smoking. Yeah, so that's the problem. We're chasing down this little bug here. So we've got the code. I don't know. Okay, so the old way, like I had to rewrite some routines for the endurance in this kind of mess with this smoke deal, but basically this thread here is the new character flips in, and the first thing I check for is if it's smoke. or see if the last character was smoke. If it is, turn the smoke off. Now before, the way I reinstated was the smoke was if the new character was smoke, I would just call his smoke routine as his insertion point. But I kind of want to do it different. I kind of want to make him maybe jump in or teleport in like Scorpion, and then also have his smoke as well. So we kind of have to do that different. From my experience, yeah, hex editor 010010, whatever you want to call it, is the best hex editor. It's not free. There's a trial. I think it's like $50 or something if you wanna buy it. In my opinion. Alright, so back to what we're doing here. We were going to find a spot to either, let's grab a routine here for character flip in. And if you have anything that runs on the Texas Instruments TMS 34,000 series, definitely get this app by Abystus that he wrote. It helps immensely when writing code. Before he made this, I was writing everything in assembly in reverse sometimes, so this definitely sped up things. So thanks again to Charles for that. That's on the website as well. If you want to get a hold of that, you can get that from the website too. Well, I put it in twice. Okay, so anyways, let's give this a title there if we can recognize. So anyhow, back to where we're at. New character flipping in. This is the thread. Actually, that's not the one I wanted. So this routine is responsible for, like I would say, the base of everything when you're spawning a character. I got it grouped up here into control assignment, and then there's some shared routines here. Want to look at down here the character entrance moves, and you can see I have the smoke effect here for smoke. For some reason it doesn't work, so that's what we're trying to find out here. FE40, okay. Alright, so I do have that starting point for smoke when he enters as his smoke effect starting, but if you look up here, there's a random number generator, and that pretty much is our randomizer to keep things kind of dynamic. That way you can expect the same character to do the same entrance. Like for instance, if you know Scorpion's coming up next, you really don't know if he's going to do his teleport or if he's going to just jump in. So I kind of like to keep it like that, and we're going to, we got to kind of have that static every time for smoke. We got to so what we're going to do is we're going to, now let's see, let's take this out of here because we definitely want smoke every time. We'll try this dash throw. I'm not sure if that's not going to cause any problems, but we'll throw his dash in there as an option. And if it is smoke, we can probably let's see here. We can probably throw in the smoke routine here. Or actually, no, we don't want to do that right here because if it doesn't hit the, it's a 50-50 shot of that even executing. So we can pretty much add it anywhere up here. Alright, so we can bank on our character ID to be in here after we return from character instance routine. No fatalities on bosses. No, never can happen just because of the fact there's pretty much no fatality palettes unless you do like Liu Kang's fatality or something crazy like that. Instant fatalities. You mean as one button fatalities? I've had a couple people ask about that. I could. I mean, I myself don't see it as a big necessity. I've seen how there's already extended fatality time. I mean, it's definitely doable. All right, so where are we at? We were at our character entrance routine. That should be a shared routine between either player 1 and player 2 assignments here. So alright, so let's find that. Character, okay. It's not shared there, so we have to do it in both routines. We have to but we can. Let's see if we go down here. There's a shared jump to assign opposing tables. So we'll go down to assign opposing tables here. Put a breakpoint here. We'll see what we can get out of that point, because if we are going to write a routine for the smoke to start, I'd like to have it in a shared routine. That way I don't have to run it or type the same code twice, because this whole routine is separated into player 1 or player 2 depending on what side needs to transition. So we'll go here and we'll put a breakpoint, and then we'll see if we can pull our character ID. So this is where it's going to break right here, and let's see, our character ID right now for player 2 is still Johnny Cage. If we look at the structure for player 2, his ID is 103.65.40, which looks to be the old one, so the new one looks like it's already in position at 103.50 AO. And if we take that and add our 1FO, we should have E as our value if Smoke's ID is already entered in there. So 103.52.90, which should be right here. Yeah, you can see Smoke's already entered in his character ID into that table. So we can take the structure in A8 right here and see if it's Smoke. And then if it is Smoke, we can start our smoke routine right there. Preserve our AO, because I believe our AO is going to be our next thread. We got to save that. I don't think his hammer is in the game. I could be wrong, but I haven't seen any assets that showed him having a hammer. The only thing I saw was just his overhead smash, which looks like they added a hammer to it later. I could be wrong. Alright, so let's see. Back to what we're doing. Let's see, we're doing a smoke routine, so we're gonna yeah, Gravity, there are some secret codes in MK2 Plus. Definitely are some of those. New clues, new cheats. A lot of those codes or clues have to do with cheats, you know, for multiplayer or PvP. Oh, let's see, I think that's AO, and then Let's see. Hey, what's up there, Mike? It's been a while since I've had to Alright, let's see. I know there's a few requirements here. I want to say we have to clear A10 and we got to move A8 to A11, I believe, to have this smoke routine work. Here we can easily find out here real fast. Alright, so here's the routine, 5350. 360. So this routine we're looking at here is smoke, and routine. A10's clear. Yep, that's right. So A10's clear, A8 is copied into A11. 5350. I wonder if it stops. Actually, I have a much better way of seeing this. Smoke, if you were to play smoke, Alright, so there it is. Right there, it's showing us we're copying A8 to A11, clearing A10. 5280. Okay, so that's what we need. Alright, so that's the thread that's going to start our smoke routine. If it's not smoke. So I think everything's pretty much done for that part. We'll have to put it in there and see how that runs. Hornbuckle playable, maybe. Maybe not. Gravity, yeah, that's me. Alright, so let's see, let's check our flow here. Move to memory, SPAO, move from memory, SPO. That should be good. Let's copy this routine over. And that message, Gravity, says there are no anomalies. That's a factory message there that's been on the game. Alright, so let's not face smoke first off. Let's face him second, and we can see the smoke start, and then we will work on ending if ending is a problem. Alright, so alright, so there's our smoke. Our smoke is okay, so we can see that dash throw was pretty cool when he came in, what we added, but it's causing some issues there for some reason. That's pretty funny though. We'll what we'll do is we'll relaunch it. We'll put a breakpoint. We'll put a breakpoint on that, and we'll see what's going on there. Might possibly just have the address off a little bit. Or we can give him a couple options here. We can give him the teleport option. Because the dash throw was something that was created as well, because obviously you were never able to control the character. So we will go. that in there, and we'll change that variable. We'll give them the teleports, which is another written script, because obviously the computer never did the teleport themselves, so had to write that in there. 2E00 FFE1 2E00. Okay. We'll save that one as N. We'll cheat here on this health here. We'll drop it down. Let's see. What would the endurance screen like if the tower wasn't? That's a good question, Howard. I need some ideas, I guess, because if we were to do like a mega endurance deal, I would kind of like to have something else. I don't know how complex I'd like it to be. Something simple, preferably. But if it gets to where, I mean, I don't know. There's going to be, it's like one match, where you're not going to have a whole ladder of 12 characters or something like that. So I guess I'm kind of stumped on that part. I don't know how to present the mega endurance, rather than, you know, the start menu where you press start, you select your character, and then after that, I guess we'd have to put something in there that wasn't the ladder, unless it were the mountaintop, but it only had like the one endurance match on it, something like that. Yeah, I can do shadows on Girl's Lair right now without a problem. It's fine on MAME, but when it comes to the machines, it gets glitchy for some reason. I haven't really looked into it. If I put some time into it, I can probably get it to work. All right, so smoke's working. That's nice. He's gonna. Oh, look at that! Caught him with the teleport. Sorry, I'm not the greatest with playing with a keyboard. That's what I'm playing with, a keyboard. So. Let's see, like. Oh yeah, okay. I see what you mean with the. So I've got a smoke issue here. Someone was reporting the smoke bug here with the added smoke to the skeleton and the acid. I didn't even catch that. Let's go back through that, because I may have another bug here to fix. Tons of bugs. Not really, but it seems like. Seems like you get one fixed and there's another one that pops up, but that's the name of the game, though. So we'll let smoke kill us here, and I think there's a problem with the smoke with him and the skeleton. Let's double check, because it didn't seem like it was related to the smoke. Alright, Alright, so we'll try to reproduce that. We're going to go with, we're just going to fight smoke on Deadpool. We'll see what happens without the endurance. Yeah, the skull has always been a little green. Okay, it seemed okay there. I don't know if there was something with the endurance deal or what, but that time it seemed like it worked okay. Smoked, knocked me into Deadpool, didn't have any problems. We'll run through it one more time just to see if what do you mean it don't let you do the stage fatality? You holding low kick and low punch and uppercutting? Okay, so it seems like it's related to something with the endurance deal. Now, next thing I gotta do is I gotta go backwards here and let me save this script here into the, that way, let's see, 550, 60, 50, save this script, that way my smoke start routine is fine. And then we'll also go in and we will load the last one where he knocked us in, and we will see if it's something related to the thread that we put in there. Alright, so we got smoke in here, and I'm going to find our routine that we just made, and we're going to eliminate that routine just to see if it's anything related to that, causing that. I don't think it is, because it seems to crash way after it, but just as a quick test here, we're going to find out. So we want to jump all the way to '01, so we gotta go. Alright, so 12 words, we're jumping here. Actually, yeah, we're gonna have to do that right here before the thread is even launched here. So this time he shouldn't have any smoke, but then we're going to see if that's related to why we're dying or crashing after he knocks us into Deadpool. Alright, seems to be isolated to that new thread we put in there. Well, let's do this. One more test here. This might even fix it. Let's see. Now let me do this stage. So I need to press low kick, low punch, and high punch. Yeah, it's always been like that. Gravity. You hold low punch, hold low kick, and then you uppercut them. Alright, so we'll go in here and we'll just run out all the, we'll preserve all registers, because maybe we're just having a register problem here. This will be a real easy way to find out. Alright, so what we want to do is FFF is going to be our registers that we're saving. 9AF, FFF. Alright, so he'll have smoke, and then we'll see what happens here on the second round. See if he knocks us in the dead pull, see if we're good to go. I try to preserve as a minimal amount of registers, because I've actually had some crashes sometimes when you save too many registers. It seems like the stack just gets too high, and it just has a problem with it. So we'll let us knock us in there, and we'll see if it still crashes. Alright, still seems like we got a crash with that thread, even preserving all the registers, so we gotta see what's going on there. Fun, fun, fun. I wonder what's causing our crash here. You wouldn't think it'd be the location of the routine for the smoke to reoccur, but maybe. I guess that's the next thing to try. Sometimes it makes sense. I mean, it looks like logically it's working, but sometimes it's just you just gotta try some things, and sometimes it works better. Alright, so let's see the opposing tables. So we'll remove that from there. We'll try it someplace else here. I mean, you'd think with preserving the registers, everything would be alright, but I don't know how big the stack is, if it kind of cuts something off there because of that or whatnot. So player focus, call thread, assign location. Okay, so this is the very end. And it probably makes more sense to do it here anyways, because yeah, I seen he did do that. It's not really that hard if you're doing MAME and debugger. You just change your character ID, which it's really not even. I don't consider it real hornbuckle since there are no shadow moves. So he might be playable. He may not be, but right now that method that he used is not the right way. All right, so we're putting this smoke routine later in the smoke thread later in the routine, and then we'll launch this. We'll see what happens. I thought that was kind of. I never would expect a crash for the Deadpool, and I don't think it's anything else. But the might as well go all out with hidden characters content at this point. Do it all, no regrets later. Howard, I did initially start to do some endings for the seer characters. I've even had a couple stories written out and stuff, but when it got down to it, it was like, okay, the stories were easy. The ending pictures, they were just, the pictures themselves for the endings, they just didn't make a lot of sense with the characters. And I mean, I could change palettes and that, like I've done before with the pictures. But it was just, I mean, I think in the end it would have been kind of controversy because some of the stories, I guess they would have to be, I guess, spot on to It'd have to make sense with the successor games, I guess, if you want to look at MK3 and Noob Saibot and stuff like that. I just figured it would be a lot easier just to go ahead and just skip the story part of the secret characters. It'll save me a bunch of feedback about particular stories if someone saw that they might be different. I don't know. It just, at the time, it's just like it's much better not having it because they are secret characters. Let's keep it a secret, I guess. That's one way to look at it. But the big thing, I think, was just the lack of unique storyboards, like palettes, or I mean images. Yeah, I see. The biographies were a good addition. Ultimate MK3 that I did. I need some tweaking, I guess, because some of the text is kind of aligned funky on some biographies, but for the most part, it's definitely better. Maybe I'll get back to that one day. Alright, so here we go. We're testing out our modified routine here. We'll see how this goes. Oh wow, look at that smoke smoking already. We'll see what happens here with smoke. See how that works? I have no idea why that routine seemed to work a lot better in that position. It's odd. It's really odd, but as long as it works, I guess that's the important thing. So I'm gonna try this again here, and then I can't remember exactly who it was we faced in the first round. I want to say it was Kung Lao, but we'll check just to make sure it wasn't something. Okay, it was Kung Lao, so what we'll do is we'll make sure we put Kung Lao in there just for testing here, just to keep it the same. Nope, we'll have to go back to the Deadpool. I think he says this game is disgusting. I think that means really good. Alright, let's see. Let's see if it's a Kung Lao deal. Could be something else, but hopefully it's just the no, seemed to work fine there. Alright, so we'll take that. Take this modified script, we'll save that. That seems to be working as expected. Alright, so that definitely spawns that. Okay. So the good thing about that being relocated there, it's going to also affect our standby character, the one that's about to spawn and then flip out, which is Smoke in this case. So it does add it to him as well. Which is unique because usually, even when you're fighting Smoke, you don't get the smoke before it says fight. Alright, so here it's calling our smoke routine. Let's make sure everything's good with that. We'll double check the 106 OTFO, C42. Okay, so yeah, that is the right structure. Pull in our character ID, which is smoke, and then it's going to launch. Alright, okay. Yeah, and there's that throw thing. We'll have to take care of that too before we forget about it. Noob Cybot actually has 2 fatalities in the game. Yeah, the AI is kind of programmed to just read your inputs, which is sucky. I don't know. That would take a lot of time to even tackle that problem, but Noob Cybot does have 2 fatalities. It's I'll show you actually. Oops, my mistake. My mistake. Let's try that again. Since I don't have Noob Cybot unlocked in this one. I'll have to remember it here. Oh, let's see. So yeah, Noob's got a unique fatality when it comes to his, as opposed to the other secret characters. They kind of have the same inputs share the same fatalities as their cloned counterparts. Yeah, that's an Easter egg, Howard. That's an Easter egg. He can have, I think, a dozen heads. Alright, so where were we? We were at... okay. We were at the dash throw, so we want to take... we got to take out that dash throw for now because that seems to be causing a crash. Everything else is good with the new endurance spawn routine. We got smoking when he's supposed to. We got to check to make sure smoke stops when he's destroyed as well. I guess that's the next thing here. First, let me save this script here. Alright, so let's go in here. We're going to see if his smoke stops like it should. It's up there, paintball. I used to do a little paintballing back in the days. I had all the good stuff. Tipman, you know, nitrogen, big tank, remote, electric copper, all that good stuff. Alright, so we're going to go Kung Lao, Smoke, and then Sub-Zero. So let's make sure our smoke stops after we... Uh-oh, we got our dash, so that might crash us. Yep. Let's do this. Let's update that. The right screen. There we go. So the next thing to fix is smoke. He continues to smoke. All right, so we gotta find. And we already have a routine here. Let me find this routine. We got a routine that checks for the, there it is right there. Let's close that. We're done with that one. Alright, so that's the modifier. This pretty much delays our smoke puffs, kind of turn it off if we throw a flag, which we want to do after smoke's destroyed, because we don't want them to keep smoking because it might cause performance issues. Yeah, there's what's, I don't know what you're asking there. Mike, is that how I pronounce your name? I don't want to keep mispronouncing it. It looks like you type maybe green smoke in Deadpool Skull. Like you're asking if it's possible to do green smoke. Yeah, it could be. You can change any palette. I mean, if you put the time into it. I will say that changing palettes to get them, especially for them to look good in authentic, it does take some time. It's one of the most time-consuming things to do in the game, because there's no tools to actually do it in a fast way. You can't export the images. You can't, you know, modify them after doing that and put them back in. It's not that easy. Alright, so let's make sure, let's get rid of some of these scripts here, because sometimes I get too many scripts in my face and I forget if I save them or not, so I can very well lose changes, and that's never good. Alright, so when a new character comes in after smoke, it runs through this routine here for a new character. The first thing it does, it checks to see if smoke was the last character. If so, it sets our flag to turn the smoke off. And then it spawns our new character, does a couple other things, orients him right, sets position, and it goes from there. So we gotta put a breakpoint on here and see what is going on here. Alright, so here's a breakpoint. 103.65.40. Let's see if that's current. Yeah, that's current, so that should pull in. Oh, I see what's going on there. Okay. Nope, that's good. So it does have the old player there, as it should. It checks it for smoke. If it's not smoke, it jumps the flag. The flag would be put into 13F. FE40. Alright, so here we go again. This is where it should throw the flag, and it should stop it. Once this flag's thrown, it's going to be read in the original smoke routine loop, and it should delay our smoke puffs to almost like 5 minutes or something. So let's see, pulls in, it sees its smoke. There's our flag. Stores our flag, and then from there, we put a breakpoint on that one. Let's see what happens here. Loads our flag as 1. Okay, compared to what is it? Loads our other flag, our FDDO, which is which player. That's a flag I put in there to recognize which player needs to be transitioned. Checks for player 1. If it's not player 1, it jumps down here, grabs a player 2 structure. Compare A0 to A8. Oh, I see what's going to happen here. Basically, it's only going to remove the smoke on it if A0 is equal to A8, and A8 is always going to be one of our character structure IDs. So I'm assuming it's always going to be reading 10398DO. See, that's not 10398DO. I wonder if that was Liu Kang's structure. We can do this 10398DO. And then while we're at it, let's give us a godly amount of health here. Just so we can get beat up, but we can also play around with this table. That might be Liu Kang's table, and that keeps loading. We'll see. A8 is 10398DO. Let's see what it does. 8430. Okay, so it's got a different structure now. Our new table is 103 FL. So another way to do this would be, the right way would be to, I guess, end the thread. If we knew the thread ID of the smoke, we can also do it that route. Which would probably, I'm trying to think of the best way to do that. It would probably go back to, oh, let me, character spawn, okay. It would probably go back to that last routine that we just made the smoke start. Because when you do a thread such as, where is it at here? Right here, this is where we call our smoke thread. Whenever you get out of this thread, the next line is going to hold, register A0 is going to hold our thread ID number. And we can easily do that just by calling destroy. No, actually, no, that's not the right one. Let's see, FF83EOEO. There's a routine you can call to destroy threads that are related to an object, and that's probably the best way to do it. And I didn't learn this until maybe a week ago, and it's probably going to be the best way to do it, and the easiest way. What are these stages that were in the code of the game? No, there's no other stages I've found. But I mean, Mountaintop was created. So unfortunately not. There was once talks about maybe, that'd be cool to bring in the original Pit into this game, but there would be so much involved in that. I don't think all that data would actually fit inside the ROMs, because I want to keep it to just the revision ROMs. being changed only. I don't want to have people changing out graphic ROMs and stuff like that. Even if we had the capability or tools to actually do the graphic stuff, which we really don't as far as ripping graphics, since it's all written in bitmap space, you kind of can't do that right now. I mean, you can probably make something. I mean, it's going to take a little bit of time to do that, and that's something we've always wanted to do. It just seems like it's one of the toughest things to do because it hasn't been done on arcade platform. I mean, people have done it on, you know, PC and that because all the assets are in a common format. But for as far as the graphic ROMs from the machine, the arcade, it's kind of a different story. Alright, so where was I? I was trying to find the routine that I found a couple days ago for remember it's EO, is it FF84 EO? I thought I had. Ah, there it is. Yeah, FF80 E0 is 0. Okay. So I've seen this routine called most of the time, well, every time I'm going to say on a projectile, because a lot of the projectiles, they have their own thread because, you know, they got to control their own movement and stuff like that. So this thread here seems to be called whenever a projectile is finished. It just kind of removes it. So I don't know if that could actually work on the smoke routine. We could. We can try it out. But basically, all we need to know is that the thread ID number, which we'll know after, as soon as the thread's called. It'll be sitting in A0. Well, that's gonna probably make us have to preserve whatever the ID is somewhere along the line, because we're obviously not gonna get rid of the smoke as soon as we call it. So that's the next step. Where's the best part to do it at? Yeah, I would have to preserve it somehow. Well, let's do this. Let's see if that's even gonna work. We can. We can insert this real fast. If this works, our smoke should probably not even show up on the screen at all by calling this, because our AO is going to reside. Let's call a little delay here. Let's do 60. Maybe we'll see a little bit of smoke and then it will end. Can't type. And we're back. I think we got disconnected there. Alright, so this, if this works, it should temporarily give us smoke and then take it away here. If not, it should probably crash if it doesn't work at the beginning. Yep, there it goes. Alright, so maybe that only works for projectiles. We'll have to check and see what's going on in that routine. Maybe we can pick it apart, and or maybe it's the loop or the delay. Let's plug in a breakpoint here and see if it's the delay. Yep. Okay, it's the delay. So we can rectify that here just by going in here and jumping over that. Alright, so there's our jump. I should have AO in there. Okay, so you can see it didn't have any smoke there, so that's a good thing. That means that should work for, I guess, killing the smoke. That's the right way to do it. That's the first time I've done that the right way on that. Usually, when we would stop the smoke for any explosion fatalities to keep from crashing, we'd put like a big delay on the smoke puff, because the routine just loops. And it creates a smoke effect, you know, every second it seems like. So if we put a large delay in there, it seems like the smoke is stopped, but it's just big long delays between puffs, which you don't even notice. It seems like it's stopped. All right, so we'll do. Alright, so now we have to find a way to preserve our thread ID for the smoke routine, and that way later we can call it to destroy it. And I think it's going to be right here. Oops. So we'll take that. Before we move out of here, we will return our code back to the original routine it was, and then we'll put a little, oh, that's not right. Oh, let's see here. Alright, so we have to preserve our smoke routine ID. That way we can call it back and destroy it.